Hi, everybody. Good morning. We are here. We're having some technical difficulties today. Um, this is like take three. Okay, so we're having a happy Friday. No more technical difficulties. Okay, so what we're going to do is I really have been focused on a few things. Even though people can't get together for Christmas, to be able to offer something that's kind of fun, kind of healthy, maybe not so healthy, but really fun and festive, and just something that you can leave on somebody's doorstep that obviously, and just add some fun things to it. So what we're going to do, what I'm working with, is just making some really healthy kind of cordials, sort of cordial, not really an elixir so much as a cordial, which would be something herbally that's kind of healthy for you, but also in a really festive drink. And so today I'm going to be working with alcohol, but if you wanted to, you could, this is my guess, okay, because I've always done this. Hey, good morning. I've always done this with alcohol because it preserves it really well, and I know, and it tastes really usually very yummy. And but for people that aren't drinking, you could do it with kombucha, or you could do it with a vinegar or something like that. Okay, so anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put together something that really helps with the digestion over the holidays, because we do tend to overindulge. And so I have put together many different digestive formulas in an alcohol base, and put them, like, for instance, this one here. This one here has cardamom in it, rosemary, sarsaparilla, ginger, fenugreek, fennel, and licorice. So those are the kinds of things that I happen to have in the house. But what I'm looking for are things that you would happen to have in the house that you can put together that will be good for digestion, and that you can put together as a little, like a little before dinner drink, or even an after dinner drink to help you digest. So we're going to make it really yummy this time, and decadent. So things you can add, whatever you happen to have. If you happen to have ginger, most people do have ginger, we can start with putting it in our little jar here, and just whatever you want for taste. So it depends how much you like ginger. I'm only going to add a little bit, because what I'm going to do is actually make this more of a desserty kind of a cordial. Hey, Kathy, good morning. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. So I'm just going to add a little bit of ginger, not too much, just for digestion. So I would say in this small jar, well, it's a pint jar, I'd say a quarter of a teaspoon, because I don't want it too overwhelming. But if you really like ginger, you can. These are just ideas for you to add whatever you want. The other thing that most people have in their house is fennel. So at least I hope so. Fennel, or if you happen to have licorice or fennel or anise, would be really good too. I have star anise, which is super awesome. It's very good for digestion, but it's very subtle. But not a lot of people have that. So if you happen to have ginger and you happen to have fennel, and again, I don't want it to overpower the licorice flavor, so I'm just going to add about a third of a teaspoon. This is actually a tablespoon, but you guys that watch me on Facebook Live know that I don't do anything by the rules, and I'm always using the wrong utensils for the wrong measuring, and I don't usually measure anyway. So the other thing you can add, which is really good, you can either add cinnamon sticks if you want to. You could do that if you don't have cinnamon sticks. So today I'm after things that you would have in your cupboard so that you guys can do this at home. If you don't have cinnamon sticks, and if you do, it's always advisable to use the Ceylon cinnamon rather than the cassia. But anyways, if you don't, just take your cinnamon. Most people have cinnamon in a jar, and or in a whatever. Hopefully you have cinnamon, it's fairly fresh. And so so I'm just going to add some cinnamon here, and I hope you guys can still see this because there's a phone call coming in and it's blocking my screen. I hope it's not blocking yours. Anyways, back to the cinnamon. If you have cinnamon, you know, I'm just thinking what I'm adding to this. What I'm actually going to add, I might as well tell you now. I've been trying to keep it a secret, but I'm going to tell you, we're going to add cocoa to this to make it really decadent, almost like a cherry cocoa or cherry chocolate liqueur. If you want, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. So I'm not going to add too much cinnamon, but the cinnamon does it assists in digestion as well, right? So I'm kind of working on a digestive formula here. This little thing is just terrible for the oh, there we go, for the holes. So I'd say that's like a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. The other thing you could do, it all depends. Oh, I was going to show you guys. Do I have that here? I was going to show you, I may not have it here. There is a thing that is called Jagermeister, or it might be pronounced Jagermeister or Jägermeister. Depends on your accent, either. And it's like got, I don't know what, it's got like 21 different herbs in it, and it's quite amazing for digestion. And it has a little bit of that eucalyptusy, rosemary-ish, juniper berry-ish flavor. So if you're into that, you could do that. You could add rosemary, which is really good for digestion as well. Rosemary is really good for an antiviral, which is awesome, good for digestion. So if you wanted to add rosemary to this, you could. I'm just feeling into if I think that rosemary, we could. Okay, so where's the rosemary? Did I put the rosemary? I used it the other day. It's so handy to have everything handy, except for when it's not. And I'm just wondering, oh my goodness, do I dare to do this sitting down? Better not, better stand up. Okay, so that's not it. I thought that was the rosemary, and I've gone and taken it, and oh, here it is. Keep moving things around. We could add a little bit, you know, because we're going to cover it up with chocolate and maple syrup or honey anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go with 1/3 teaspoon of rosemary too. Again, this is antiviral, good for digestion. And so you can add that. Now, if you want to get festive and not really work so much with the cocoa, I'm kind of after a cocoa-ish flavor. And but if you didn't want to do that, you could add nutmeg to it. If you want it really Christmassy, give a hint of eggnog to it, you could do that. You know what? I'm going to do that in here. That's my other little jar. Okay, so I'm going to add some nutmeg to this, and that's quite a bit. Well, it's not really, but it all depends. Maybe I'll add more. All depends on how much nutmeg you want. Okay, so the second one, which I'm going to set that there. I'm going to finish this one first because I get so distracted by all the fun little things that we can do with this. Okay, so I think that's pretty good for digestion that you would have. Anything else here that people would have, and that's why I love the Facebook Live, any comments on things that would help digest that people would have? They would have ginger, fennel, licorice, rosemary, cayenne helps with digestion. It really does. Mint would be good. If you happen to have peppermint leaves, you can put them right in here. If you happen to have peppermint extract, you can put it right in here. So the peppermint really helps to digest as well. So that would be a good addition. And you could make that a chocolate mint. So if you wanted to add the cocoa and the cocoa and the maple syrup, or you can add a honey, it will, you can make it a chocolate mint if you want for that, you know, kind of like a herbal de menthe, if you wanted to. Anyways, okay, so I am going to add some maple syrup. Depends what you want to do. You know, again, everything in my life is to taste. So just taste it, see if you like it, add more, add less. Just don't fill the jar up to the top, so you can adjust it however you want. But yeah, if you wanted to add the honey has the antibacterial properties. If you know somebody local that has a local honey with ethically sourced honey, that would be preferable. And so your honey is going to have the antibacterial, antiviral properties and very soothing for the throat as well. You use maple syrup. If you wanted to use another natural sweetener, you could. You know, other sugars like coconut sugar or monk fruit, I think you have to warm them a bit for them to really melt. Otherwise, it might be a little, you know, it might not dissolve very well. So we're going to add some cocoa here to make our liqueur. And I have to tell you, I'm going to add 2 heaping tablespoons. Me and my non-measuring. For the, now I'm talking about, I know I'm talking about like a cherry liqueur, because at Christmas time, a lot of people have, over the years, you know, those chocolate-filled cherry things. And I'm just not a fan of cherries unless they're fresh. If they're fresh, it's awesome. If they're preserved in any way at all, it just does not turn me on. However, I do like a sort of a strawberry cherry liqueur. So if you had strawberries, you can add that to it. If you're going to add, now you can add fresh fruit or frozen fruit if it's thawed and dried, so there's not too much extra liquid, you know, from the ice or anything. You can add a fresh fruit to it, or a frozen fruit to it, providing it's fairly dry. If you add honey, like you really need to add the honey to preserve it. And then the honey, along with the alcohol, will stop it from molding or anything like that. Also, it does stop it from fermenting. So the alcohol tends to stop it from fermenting. So, say for instance, this right here is the raspberries, and you can. This particular one is in, it's in vinegar, so that's not a good example. But this one here, for instance, this is goji berries, and the goji berries are in, they're in vodka and honey, and so they won't mold or anything like that. And so we have a few that actually do still have the fruit in them, wherever they are. I have so many things percolating everywhere. So anyway, yeah, if you wanted to do that, I'm going to use an imitation by using wine. Okay, so the wine will preserve. You could use any kind of alcohol you want. You can use a wine, red wine, white wine. I have some here that were done in tequila. It tends to, like this one here, this is rosemary and mint. This is where I've used the mint for digestion, rosemary and mint, and tequila and honey. Okay, so it's going to have a purer flavor, right? And with the rosemary and the mint, it's going to be more evergreen, you know, kind of a flavor. So more medicinal, right? A little bit more like Jägermeister or whatever, however you say that. In this case, I want it to be more decadent, like a liqueur. You can use brandy as well. It all depends what you're looking for. I don't usually like something as heavy as brandy. Oh my gosh, if you've seen my Facebook Lives before, you know that I have a really hard time opening things on here, and I don't know why, because normally I'm strong enough. Okay, so we're just going to add this. We have the maple syrup, and I'm going to go for, oh yeah, probably that much. So this is going to lend itself, rather than a cherry chocolate liqueur, this is more like a grape chocolate liqueur. And so you can do that. If you, like I say, if you don't want to use alcohol, you can use a kombucha. You can use any kind of vinegar. You know what would be really good would be, now here's a good idea. Another thing, if I have it right here that I can show you, is we made this. This is a pineapple. We made it on Facebook Live. This is a pineapple in vinegar. And so I just cut up a pineapple, took the skin off, and actually I made a vinegar with the skin too, like the peel. But this is the center of the pineapple, and just put it with distilled water and sugar, pure natural organic cane sugar. And that's it, water and the cane sugar and the pineapple, and it's turned into a vinegar. Now, if you want to use this, that would be quite interesting. And I have videos where you can make vinegar out of anything, out of any fruit at all. Peels, orange peels, you can make vinegar out of pretty much anything, herbs, all kinds of stuff. So this would make a really nice fruity type, right? Because of the pineapple. So I'm just trying to think of the different things. I mean, even if you added things like the cinnamon, that'd be good. Nutmeg, maybe, you know. So you could do whatever you want with something like this if you don't want to use alcohol. And basically all you're doing is putting the pineapple in here with the water and the organic sugar and letting it sit for 30 days. And this was done, I'll have to look at the Facebook. I would say this was done at least 3 months ago. So it's doing really well. It's creating a little bit of a mother on the top, which most vinegars will do, but it's very super awesome. So you could do that. Okay, back to the program here. We're this is the digestive with sort of making it into a chocolate liqueur. So this will help digest. It's just a fun little thing, you know. It would be something you could put in little tiny bottles and give to people for Christmas, or, you know, just, I mean, if you do have a family that lives in your home, you've got some people there this Christmas, then you know, you could bring this out after dinner for a little digestive treat. You know, and in this case with the wine, that's just a cheap. This is like a herbal. Oh, I shouldn't say that with the label showing, but but it's not an expensive wine that you have to work with, right? So it's relatively inexpensive to do this. That was my point. And so you would just shake this up, and then if you put it in a fairly warm place, I'm just thinking of the date. It's the 16th of December, so we've got, I don't know, 8 or 9 days, depending on when you celebrate Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas. So you've got a week in a warm place. So put it in a warm, dark place where, you know, maybe on top of the fridge or hot water tank or something, so that it will start to absorb the flavors, and then this will be ready. Ideally, it would be 2 weeks, but it'll still taste pretty good after a week. I mean, it probably tastes pretty good right now. So, but to get the digestive herbs to actually do something for you would be better if it actually releases all of the properties into the wine. Okay, so we're on to the, oh, the other thing I was going to add is the turmeric. The turmeric does have a bit of a bitter flavor to it. So yeah, so let's not ruin the chocolate grape stuff. Let's do this because the nutmeg has a tiny bit of a bitter quality too. So this might be a better match. So this is going to help too. The turmeric, of course, is anti-inflammatory. It has the curcumin, super good for the immune system. And when you add turmeric, you really do want to, usually you want to add pepper to that. And I'm just looking for my pepper grinder. Went somewhere. Where did my pepper grinder go? Okay, well, anyways, you would add a little bit. I'm just going to add the teensiest bit, tiny teensy bit of cayenne, just hardly any there. So, because the pepper helps to activate the turmeric. And I have no idea where my pepper grinder went. It was right here. Anyway, so all we have here, we have nutmeg and I'm going to add vanilla. I'm just looking at all the things. Whatever you want, just think about what you have in your cupboard. Oh, if you wanted to add ginger to this, you can. And I think that would be a good combination, you know, just kind of feel into it. I think that would work okay. And so you're just gonna, it doesn't want to come out. I don't want too much in here. Am I getting that? Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're just gonna add a little bit of ginger to this as well. And what else? Yes, I was thinking of the vanilla. That would be really lovely. I don't know that it's going to do anything for digestion, but it's definitely going to tame the turmeric. And rosemary, fennel, more fennel, I would say. You could add both. It all depends what you're going for. What we're going to add to this, we're going to have this tasting more like an eggnog. So it's going to be a little bit of fennel, and I might add just a couple little rosemary leaves, a couple little rosemary things here, and okay, so we're going to add that too, but mostly we want this to taste eggnoggy, and so so I'm definitely going to add the cinnamon to this, and if you want to, you know what's a really good thing? It's not something most people will have, but if you do, so awesome, is the cardamom. If you have cardamom, that would be absolutely amazing. I'm going to add more nutmeg because I really want to pull that flavor out. And so in this case, we're going to have whatever it is that you want to use for sweetener. So again, I'm going to use the maple syrup. You could use honey if you want to. So, and probably more than you would think. I'm going to go for probably 1/8 of a cup because I'm going to use brandy and it's going to be quite strong. So this is just, you know, any kind, and to pull out those flavors and to pull out the all the medicinal properties. So the thing with this, I'm just going to go halfways with this, and then what you can do if you want to give it a week or some time to see how that tastes, and if you want to adjust that or add a little bit more of anything. The other thing, this would be good. I don't know if you guys, for anybody that likes that, like I don't do a regular eggnog, but they have a really nice coconut eggnog out, coconut milk eggnog out. And so to add this to that would be, if you were using rum, like typically you'd use rum for eggnog, but anyway, in this case it's brandy. But either way, you could add rum or brandy to this and then add it to the eggnog, and then it's going to help that digest, because even I find, even with the coconut milk, I find that the eggnog is very heavy for me, and it's not something I can have a few sips, but I can't really do like even a small glass. But with this, it would help it to digest. Did that go on straight? Before I shake it. And yeah, so you're just going to shake this, get the turmeric in there. So you've got your anti-inflammatory, you've got your digestive herbs, rosemary, ginger, cinnamon, and so it's going to be really lovely with that nutmeg to bring out the eggnog flavor. Oh my god. You could add allspice too. Another thing you could do with this, I just have to smell it. Yeah, you can smell the nutmeg. You could add allspice. You could do this if you wanted to make a mulled. You could do a mulling spice with this, which would be really pretty as well. And think I would add vanilla to that because the mulling spice, yeah, you could probably hide a lot of digestive herbs in the mulling spice. So, so if you happen to have a mulling spice, either a package or a jar of that, you know, it's already got many of the herbs that help with digestion anyways, but you could add your fennel and rosemary and that kind of thing. So yeah, so these are just a couple things that I plan to have on hand, and you know, to help digest if you are going to have a heavy meal. People just tend to overeat and over sweet and everything, and so we'll be talking detox in January. Help everybody get over the holidays. So these are just a couple little things. They're really simple to do. And like I say, if you wanted to do it with vinegars, you could. You could probably do it with other things. It's just that it's not going to last, right? So the alcohol makes it last. These things right here will last 2 or 3 years. Like they will, well, this one will probably last 10 years because it's a brandy. But they'll last for years. So it all depends. If you wanted to, you could use a fruit juice or any kind of a juice. It's just that you would have to keep that in the fridge because it probably wouldn't last. I don't even know if it would last a week. But that's okay too, if that's what you want to do. I plan to keep these things around for a while. And so I want something that's going to preserve. And of course, your honey is also going to preserve longer than your maple syrup as well. The maple syrup will tend to go, but because it's in the alcohol, it's going to last a little bit longer. For the ones that I keep for years and years, they are done with honey because the honey will preserve like pretty much in a forever state. So I was going to do one little thing here, and I might as well while you're here, because I have to do it anyways, and it's just our basic recipe. You guys have seen me do this before, and I bought at No Frills had the Imperfectly Perfect. I suited up and went in. It was traumatic, but you know what? Just follow the rules. Keep your mask on, wash your hands, wash everything when you get back. Make sure clean, and spray everything down. That's why I really like my my herbal, I call it herbal anti-spray. It's an antiviral spray that I make with high amounts of alcohol. High amounts of alcohol and all of the thieves oil spray for being very antiviral, and then I just spray that all over my car and the grocery bags and that kind of thing. You know, that way with the spray, with the antiviral spray, it will go everywhere, you know, because it's pretty hard to get a regular hand sanitizer stuff on the bags. And with the spray, I'm just all over all the grocery bags, all over everything. And then it's, yeah, it works really, really good because it hits everywhere that you can't get the, you know, the liquid sanitizer stuff. Okay, so, yeah, so these were like Perfectly Imperfect. They're on sale. Really, you know, I mean, I don't care what the outside looks like. Avocados are so good for you. So we're just going to take these and get them in here. Going to use a couple, and we're just going to do our thing that we do all the time. You guys are probably tired of seeing it, and you can switch it up a bit if you want. You can add coconut milk to this if you want to. A can of coconut milk if you wanted, or any kind of coconut milk if you want to, and a little bit of maple syrup. So I'll put a little bit more because I'm going to add cocoa, and it's a pure organic cocoa, so it's very bitter, and so I added a little bit more maple syrup than usual. Okay, get the exact perfect spoon here. And I say, hey, heaping tablespoon and a bit because I just love it. Super dark and super easy peasy. Gonna add a little bit of water here just to help it get going. We might need more water. Lid. All the little things. So this just makes a super easy dessert pudding treat for during the day. Whoops. I'm so hard on these things. Okay, but I really do want it fairly thick, so. Okay, we'll add a little bit more water. I should do it in the Vitamix. I find that when I do things in the Vitamix, oh, that's nice and thick. Actually, that might be done. Let's see. It's got a couple chunks of avocado, and there's someone that lives here that doesn't really like avocado, so I need all those little specks to be hidden so they don't know it's in there. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a little more watery, but if you do like avocado, it was perfect just like that. It just had a couple little green pieces that got missed. Okay. Sounds like I'm killing it. Truly, I'm not. Okay. Oh, that's very good. Very lovely. And I still kept my, oh, you can still see a little avocado. I wish I could dye avocado chocolate colored so that, so nobody can see that it's in the meals that I make. But look at that. Just going to push him down in there. Doesn't that look amazing? Tastes really good too. Anyway, I can grind the other one more and this one will be for me. Isn't that lovely? Super good for you. Avocado, maple syrup, and a little bit of organic cocoa. A lot of organic cocoa. And so anyways, okay, well, it's Friday. You guys have a really great weekend. Try and stay dry, and we'll see you Monday. I look forward to your comments and your suggestions and whatever you want to try next week. And we'll see you then. Check out my Instagram, YouTube channel, and share and subscribe. Take care.